Hello everyone, welcome back to the final video in the Malta build series. We've come a long way. As best we can, we have built the city of Valletta. We added a zoo, a racetrack, port. The airfield is kind of similar to the one in the movie. And here we are at the Amberclave Night Market, otherwise known simply as the Malta Black Market. I'm going to warn you now, what you are about to see is absolutely atrocious. I do things so that when you guys go to do them, it hopefully will be a lot easier. I honestly wonder if I do this on purpose to myself and make things as hard as possible. What I'm referring to is the overall black market portion. Just don't do what I did. Lay your paths down, put all your decorations in, most importantly put the dinosaurs in, and then add the roof if you're going to add the roof. On a side note, thank you Evolution Square for the idea. She came up with that in the first game. It has become immensely popular, and I'm not gonna lie, I never really truly cared for it too much. It was certainly interesting, and I'm in no way trying to crap on her idea, but it just personally for me, I didn't like it, but I didn't feel as though I had any other options. I couldn't come up with anything else that would provide a roof for this thing. So anyhow, back to the actual build. Yeah, don't be me. Lay all your paths down. I actually didn't include the bulk of me placing all of the monorail sections. If you truly need help doing that, just go watch one of Evolution Square's videos. I didn't feel the need to include it. It's fairly self-explanatory. There are just a couple things that I want to talk about in regards to this build. The first one being my choice of dinosaurs and where to put them. If you remember from the movie, I know I've included a picture when I actually get to that part in the video of me building it. They have the fighting pit, and initially there's an Allosaurus and a Baryonyx in there, juveniles. Within the game, it's impossible to make these pits as small as they are in the movie due to the hitboxes, and you could build 3 sides, get the dinosaurs in there, and then try to add the last final section. It doesn't work. I played around with this quite a bit, and these in the video might be a little bigger than what I ended up coming up with initially when I found something that worked, but overall it doesn't take away from the build too much. It does look a little silly with Leonard and the Oviraptor in their respective pit. I'm also aware that it was the same pit in the movie, but I didn't want to cram every single dinosaur in there, and there's not a lot of room for the actual dinosaurs in this build. It sounds stupid, and it kind of is. I placed the aviary to house the Dimorphodon 2022 variant, or skin, whatever. As I said, Leonard and the Oviraptor have their own fighting pit, and then the Demon Carno and the 2022 Allosaurus skin, they have their own kind of separate enclosures. Everything else that we see in the movie that we have in the game being Stygimoloch, Compies, and the Microceratus, which I have replaced because we obviously still don't have that. I used Lystrosaurus with 2 different skins. I've included all of the skins that I did use for the game or for these dinosaurs in the video, so be on the lookout for that. Anyhow, the Stygies, the Compies, and the Lystrosaurus microceratus are all in a bigger pit. That was the only decent way I could think to put them in there, and I had built a bigger one because I initially was going to attempt the Allosaurus and Baryonyx juveniles. I never really came up with species or anything that I was going to use aside from Baryonyx. I was going to put those in the pit, but then I realized I don't really have a place for the other dinosaurs. So, unfortunately, I made no attempt to have a juvenile Baryonyx or Allosaurus in this build. There's also a juvenile Carno. And we just can't do it in the game. And I really did try to make room for dinosaurs, but being with the size of the area that they need to, just so that you can enclose them in there, that started to take away from the build overall. So what you see is, in my opinion, the best way to incorporate all of the species that we have and that are seen in the film. Of course, minus the micro. But yeah, the fighting pits. The fighting pits they came out pretty cool. Obviously, with mixed eras, I used decorations from every single era, except Biosyn. I don't think I included any of the Biosyn decorations in here. It definitely was a challenge to get this to kind of look like kind of similar to the movie. It's way bigger than it was. Again, just space and everything like that, trying to fit all the dinosaurs in. It had to be a pretty decent area. There is no room for water, there's no room for food, so you're gonna have to turn comfort, hunger, and thirst off for all your dinosaurs if you're gonna build it like this. That's kind of the price you pay for trying to be film accurate as best you can. I'm also not gonna lie that when it came to placing all of the decorations within the black market, I mean, this build has, I've been working on it for a while, and it's very labor-intensive, as much as, a video game can be. I got a little rushed at the end, or, close to the end. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm making this whole thing sound awful, and I don't mean to, but, I think you guys can understand what I'm trying to say here. Nothing is very precise. I just kind of plopped decorations down where I thought they looked good, and overall, when you turn the game to night and look in there, it still looks pretty freaking cool, in my opinion. I think that's about all that I really wanted to talk about as far as the black market section. Of course, Malta would not be complete without the Atrociraptors, so I had a little bit of space to the kind of like behind the port and to the left of the entrance to the black market. So I plopped them in there. I used the monorail sections again because in the film they're actually like under a bridge or overpass, something. So I made a little area for the Atrociraptors. I blocked them in so they can't get out. The white trailer that we have, I incorporated that as the truck that was carrying the Atrociraptor cages. We have the cages, which are laughably small. They are way too small. That one I kind of came up with while I was building this. I didn't have a plan for where I was going to incorporate the Atrociraptors, but they're in there, and that is one of the reasons why I didn't use Atrociraptors in the zoo portion. I think their skins and patterns are pretty fantastic, but I knew I was going to use the squad skins, so to speak, elsewhere in the map, and I didn't want to stack the species like that. So at the end of the video, instead of actually showing the decorating that I did, I just took pictures and featured the certain sections that are unique as far as they are completely made up of decorations, and then there's more than a few that are just decorations within the city to kind of hopefully give you guys some ideas in regards to decorating them. I know the bigger piece of rubble, I forget what it's called in the game, but that works very nicely on empty corners within your city. And then similar to the black market, the one with the little shed coming off of it, I implemented that in the black market and throughout the city as kind of like little shops or vendors, what have you. Just trying to, add something a little more to the city. I'm sure there's street vendors within Valletta in real life, but St. George's Square, I found a bunch of pictures. I did the best I could. I had to incorporate some Jurassic Park era flags, but they're the better looking red flags in the game as opposed to the Jurassic World ones. And then you'll see in the picture there, it looks like a puddle in the middle of the square, but that is actually a fountain. I believe it plays music. I didn't look into it a whole lot, but I did find a couple pictures of jets coming out of what appears to be a puddle. So that is actually a fountain, and I went all out with doing that. What I came up with, it's huge, it's kind of gaudy looking, especially from if you look at it from like an aerial view, but if you're in first person, I think it looks pretty cool. Obviously at night you could change all the colors and make it whatever you want. I left most of them plain except for the middle one. I think I turned it to like a lighter blue. Yeah, I think that about covers it. The skins and patterns that I used, as well as the species, obviously are going to pop up throughout the video, so you guys will know what I chose for that. In the coming weeks and months, we're going to be doing a couple different kinds of videos, namely my DLC prediction. That one I'm hoping to finish within the next week or two. It's going to be a bunch of cinematics, and then with the 30th anniversary of the first movie coming in the summer, I will be working on a pretty big project. So videos might not be as regular as I've tried to keep them, because this project is very large, very time consuming. I want it to be the best that it can be, so I'm going to be working on that the entire time. I have already started on it, and I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be awesome, but just as a heads up, videos are not going to be as frequent. I'm going to try, but I don't want to burn myself out or anything. So, as always, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Likes and comments will help the content reach more people. YouTube prefers engagement on videos, so Likes and comments are always appreciated, and I will see you in a couple weeks.